are trying to find your business online, but instead of finding you, they find your competitors. Now, more than ever, it's time to make sure you have the right SEO to make your business stand out online. Welcome to Go Mind Your Business with Terry Bork, presented by Extreme Marketing Concepts, putting your business in front of the hungry herd of buyers who are looking for you right now. Extreme Marketing Concepts, helping you drive more traffic, dominate the market, and crush your competition. And now, here's Terry.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Go Mind Your Business. My name is Terry Bork, and I am so happy to have you with me today. I have another amazing show for you today. Today I have a very special guest. His name is Lawrence J. Clark, PhD, and he's going to talk to us today about the power of influence and persuasion. Welcome to our program today, Lawrence. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's everything over there in Florida?
Everything in Florida is fantastic. Thank you for asking. Right. And I know you're coming to us today from New Mexico. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I've got my special little dream catcher up here, up on the wall, and my nice New Mexico colors in the background. So just to kind of remind everybody that New Mexico is the land of enchantment, and I don't work for the Chamber of Commerce, but they should pay me extra for that.
Fantastic. Well, I hope that you have a wonderful stay while you're over in New Mexico, and thanks for taking time out of your day to join us today.
No problem. Always happy to help you out, Terry.
Oh, awesome. Okay, great. So let me share a little bit about you with our guests, our people today. So guys, Lawrence J. Clark, he was just born a salesman. At the age of 11, his family moved overseas, and within a few short weeks, he signed up 35 families for home delivery of the Stars and Stripes newspaper, and it earned him over $15 a week. That was big money back then.
It was 1972. Yeah,
big money when you're a young man. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Since then, he sold antique furniture, life insurance, fine dining, rental and leased cars, and even vacuum cleaners. And he's written and trained others how to write sales copy and grant proposals for numerous businesses and nonprofit corporations. He's also earned a few degrees and certifications, including becoming a diamond level sales trainer and certified personality trainer. And he earned a PhD in rhetoric and persuasive language. So now Dr. Clark specializes in helping entrepreneurs and small medium businesses increase their sales and online conversion rates by maximizing the persuasiveness of their verbal and written communication. And you can find more about him online by visiting his website at thecommunicationleader.com. So again, welcome to our program today, Lawrence. I am so excited to have you.
All right. Well, I'm glad to be here.
Awesome.
Okay.
So here we go. So I'm curious, to get started, why is it important for our listeners to understand the power of persuasion and influence?
Oh my goodness. Yes, well, I'm a little biased since that's my specialty area. However, it is important for everyone to know about persuasion and influence, especially if they are entrepreneurs, if they're in any kind of a small business, any kind of position we're trying to sell a product or service or persuade people about an idea, a special social cause that they might have, or even as much as we like to make jokes about politicians, they are the ones who run our country, and if you want your candidate to be elected, you'll need to persuade other people to vote for that person, right? And then you can even bring it home. So just even little things like persuading your significant other where to go for dinner that night, or trying to get the kids to clean their room or do their homework, or try to get the person who's mowing your lawn to do a good job. Just it's pretty much any aspect of life, we are always trying to persuade and influence others. So it's very, very important.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that really helps. You know, we didn't realize we had this much pull. I don't think so. That's great. And, you know, I know that you can really enhance or destroy your relationship with influence and your persuasion techniques, I'm sure. And I'd rather enhance mine than the other way, right?
Absolutely. Yes. And a lot of people, you know, they think of influence and persuasion as being done by people who are sales professionals. Now I prefer the term sales professionals to sleazy used car lot guy, for example. But unfortunately, for example, I was talking to my mom the other day, and she was asking, so what are you doing this week? And I said, well, I'm going up to the cabin in New Mexico, and I'm going to be interviewed about my influence and persuasion work, and I'm going to a conference later this weekend with several thousand salespeople. And she said, oh no, why would you want to hang around with several thousand salespeople? And I said, well, why do you ask that? And she said, well, you know, salespeople, they're just pushy, and they're using all these strong-arm tactics, and they're all sleazy, and they're all liars. And I said, Mom, you know, unfortunately, some of them are. And that is true. But my mission in life is to teach people ethical ways that to persuade people, so that it's a win-win situation, so that it's not just the salesperson trying to make a commission, but trying to give a product or service to someone who really, really needs it and can also afford it. But that's going to be a win-win situation for everybody. So that's one of the things I love to teach, is to let people know that it's not a game where somebody wins, somebody else loses. It's a game, like a play game, right? Like we were playing a little bit before we got on the air here, right? Joking around a little bit, playing and having some fun. And I even brought my little pet turtle here, which my wife says not to show to people because she said that limits my credibility, okay? But I love my turtle. Okay, this is my pet turtle, and you know his name is Dinkle, and he travels with me wherever I go, and so I make lots of friends by playing with Dinkle. So if we learn to play with other people in a way that we're all going to win, we're all going to be happy, that's the best way to influence and persuade people, in my book anyway.
That's awesome. And, you know, I met Dinkle in Atlanta, I think in February or so of this year. He was visiting with you in Atlanta. It was wonderful. And, you know, you use Dinkle in so many amazing ways. You know, you've photographed him attending seminar sessions with you. You've journaled about his travels and where he's gone. And it forms this connectiveness, I think, with you and the people that know you or get to know you, because they can relate to, oh, you know, what's Lawrence and Dinkle up to lately? So I can see how, you know, having a friend, a buddy that, you know, you journal about can really help you have other people learn more about you.
Absolutely, and so I have two things to overcome, which people see negatively. One is that I train salespeople, okay, and I am a salesperson myself and have been for many years, and so that's kind of one negative thing in some people's minds. Another one is that I teach in a university. I teach at North American University in Houston, and one of the classes that I teach a lot of different courses, but one of the classes that I teach is freshman English, which is the bane of every freshman's existence. And so they don't like that course. It's not that they don't like me personally, but they don't really like having to write essays about what they did on their summer vacation, or some metaphor in one of Shakespeare's sonnets, right? So one of the things that's really important in influence and persuasion is getting people to know you, getting people to like you, and getting people to trust you. And if they can see that you're not just a stodgy old professor, or you're not some pushy, strong-arming salesperson, but that you're a person who loves life and loves people and enjoys all of that, then they're much more likely to come back and buy from you in the future. So you might have heard those terms before. That's kind of a typical term that people use when discussing this area. But it's really, really extremely important that people get to know you, get to like you, and get to trust you. And then they will pull out their wallets and buy from you.
Oh, well, great point, right? And as marketers, you know, we want to develop, and as people in general, we really do want to develop that know, like, and trust factor in everything that we're doing. So that's a fantastic tip. Thank you for sharing that. Sure. So if people started to understand their influence and their power of persuasion, what could their life look like once they figured out how to work with it in 30 days, 90 days, a year from now?
Oh, imagine. Okay, so just imagine if instead of having to cold call people, instead of calling them out of the blue, or instead of going to an event, a cocktail party, or a local event for some organization where you are, and just trying to pass out your business card to every single person you meet, right? And just doing all of those, again, kind of pushy type tactics that a lot of people do. Imagine if you instead we're just sitting at the computer, or sitting by the phone, or going to one of these events, and people came up and started talking to you about what it is that you do. Because you're a likable person, right? Because you're an interesting person. Because they know that you have something that is going to make their life better. So if you can imagine what that would be like, that is one thing. And also, there are some benefits to that, right? So right now, you can't really see this view. I showed it to you yesterday when we were just on a little private hangout. But I am sitting here right now up in the mountains at 7,600 feet in the Manzanito Mountains in New Mexico, on my own property that is completely paid for, and I have a view. I can see 40 or 50 miles. What I can't see are anybody else's houses, which is really great, except for at night a few little lights shine through, but I can see a lot of stars. I can see all this beautiful area. And the point is not to brag about the fact that, oh, I have this beautiful cabin in the mountains, but the reason why I have it is because, number one, I've worked really hard for it, but I've also been able to persuade and influence others to do things like hire me for projects, buy my products and services, etc. And with that transaction comes something my way. It's called dollars. And with those dollars, I am able to provide a lifestyle for myself and for my family that is beyond my wildest dreams when I was an 11-year-old paper boy, okay, or even in high school or college. I never knew that I would have such a great life. And so those are some of the things that people can look forward to if they can get really good at this thing that we call influence and persuasion.
That's fantastic. And the view from your home is absolutely spectacular. And congratulations on, setting a path for yourself and using your influence and your persuasion tactics to achieving your dreams so that you can acquire such a beautiful piece of property. That's fantastic. So what are some roadblocks that people typically run into when they're first getting started in mastering their persuasion and influence skills?
Well, okay, one roadblock I think is that a lot of people think they need to know everything. Okay, and it's really important to know as much as you can about your product or service, of course, and you want to know about not just the features of your product or service, but the benefits to your client, your prospect, right? But another thing I think that people get stuck on is this idea of a step-by-step process or a step-by-step script. So they're trying to, instead of just relate to people as people, they're sitting there trying to think of, okay, now what is the next objection that I'm going to have to overcome? Or how am I going to close this sale and stop all this small talk, okay, and get them to sign on the dotted line, right? Or they're just worried about following all the steps in the exact correct order. And I think those are two of the biggest stumbling blocks. So two ways to get over those. One is if you're worried about all of the steps that it takes, just know that there's sometimes you can skip some steps. If you have something that is called rapport, which means that you're getting along with the other person really well, you find something in common with them to talk about, then a lot of times a lot of the objections will just never come up. Okay, so that's a good thing, and so you don't have to follow all those steps. Now the other thing is about sales scripting, which I talked about before. Now I teach sales scripting. Sales scripting is extremely important, and what that means is, when I say sales scripting, is that you have certain things that you are going to say at certain points of time in your presentation, in your one-to-one sales meeting, in your large group meeting, wherever you happen to be doing your quote-unquote selling, right? However, you don't want to sound like a robot. Okay? And so if you ever remember, just think back when maybe you were in 3rd grade, right? And you're in the school play, and you only have 4 lines, okay? Teachers are smart. They don't give 3rd graders too many lines to say. But you have 4 lines. You've said 2 of your lines perfectly well. Suddenly, in your brain, you have no idea what that 3rd line is supposed to be or where it's supposed to come in the play. And then your fear is that everyone is going to turn and look at you when it's time, when your cue comes along and it's time for your line, and you're going to totally forget it. And you're going to blow the whole play, and nobody's ever going to speak to you again, and kids are going to kick mud on you, or whatever. Okay, we have all these fears because we're trying to memorize the script. So again, there's 2 ways to get over that. One is throw the script out the window and just make it a conversation, okay? And let it have its flow, and you know what your end goal in mind is, and that is to get the person to purchase your product and service. But how you get there, again, doesn't have to follow a step-by-step procedure, and you don't have to say every single thing. Now, the other way to get over the problem with sales scripting is to practice. Practice and then practice again, okay? Practice in front of a mirror, practice in front of a video camera, practice in front of your kids or your spouse, practice in front of your dog, practice in front of anybody who will listen, practice in your car as you're driving along on your way to work. And the more you say those words, the less it's going to sound like some robotic script like a telemarketer might be reading, and the more it's going to sound like just natural speaking, and it's going to be more believable because you believe it yourself and you're saying it in your own natural voice.
Oh, those are some really great strategies to overcome the things that give us a roadblock. Thank you for sharing those. And practice will make you perfect.
Yeah.
An imperfect practice makes you better, right?
Yes. And it might not make you perfect, but it will make you better, and it will also help you overcome that other thing that is the big elephant in the room, is the fear. Okay?
Mm.
The fear of saying the wrong thing, the fear of offending someone, the fear of getting rejected, right? We all have these fears within us. But again, if you just get to that comfort level where you know your product and service, you've practiced doing your script so many times that it just sounds like you're working it into a conversation, which is what you are. If you're seeing the other person as a human being and not just as a prospect, they're going to pick up on that, and they're going to feel your authenticity. And again, they're going to know you. They're going to like you, they're going to trust you, and then hopefully they're going to buy from you as well.
Oh, thank you for laying those out. I think it's so important today, whether you have your own business or you're a salesman or you just want to better your relationships with friends, to just understand how to use influence and persuasion in your everyday life. And what's really great. Oh, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off, Lawrence.
No, actually, you just brought up a really good point, and I alluded to it earlier in our conversation. But the idea that that the influence and persuasion only counts when you're at work, right? Is that is a misnomer. So it will actually help you have better relationships. If you have better relationships with your children, with your spouse, with your friends, with your mother-in-law. Okay. I love my mother-in-law, by the way, in case she's listening. All right. I really do. I get along well with her, and I'm really grateful for that. But if you, again, see every situation that you're in as a win-win situation, as a situation in which you're trying to make the best for everyone, okay, then you will have better relationships just naturally.
That's great advice, and I think it's really important, especially as a parent. Your children they're so influential. You can see it in parenting of your own children and in others. They pick up everything you say, everything you do, and you watch them and you hope, oh boy, I hope I did a good job, because whether you're not with you, they're out in the real world, and how you raise them is so important. So mastering these skills is fantastic, and that's what I want to share with you guys on what we have for you today, which is so fun. Right here, if you go to this link, terrybork.com/power, Lawrence has an amazing program that can teach you how to master these skills so that you can be more influential and more persuasive in your daily life. So, Lawrence, tell us a little bit more about what they're going to find here at terrybork.com/power.
Great. Well, thank you for mentioning that. And yes, my friend Daniel Hall and Daniel is an attorney, so please don't hold that against him. But he has a lot of really good skills that he has developed over the years, persuading judges, persuading juries, working in mediation. He's also a licensed mediator, and he's mediated business negotiations and all kinds of different things. So he has added his skills in those areas. He also is an expert at doing webinars. So we have a whole module on how to persuade people when you're on a webinar. So if you've ever tried to do a webinar to sell something, there are certain techniques and strategies that work better than others. And so he talks quite a bit about that. And then what I have done in there, so we have 10 hours, actually 10 hours of videos that we recorded over a 4-day period. And we put about 1.5 years of research into the material that's in there, besides all of our previous life experience and professional experience, right? So one of the things that you learn in there is the difference between persuasion and influence. Just for example, now when you're persuading something, persuading someone, we kind of see this as a one-time thing. Right? We're persuading someone to get down to the poll and vote for our candidate. Or we're persuading them to donate $100 to our favorite charity. Or we're persuading them to buy our product or service, right? So that's persuasion. But one of the things that we teach in the program, which is called Real Fast Influence and Persuasion, and we say real fast, it's kind of a joke, because you can learn the techniques, but you practice them over time. Okay, yeah. So I don't want to give anybody the idea that they're going to just watch a few videos and they're going to be an expert in persuasion and influence. But the difference between persuasion and influence is really where you want to go, right? You want to be an influential person. You want to be that person who, when somebody goes to the store to buy a product, or when they go think about who they're going to vote for or where they're going to donate money this year, your voice is going to be in the back of their head, letting them know, I wonder what my friend so-and-so would do in this situation, right? And so that is a much longer term influence. So for example, one of the most influential people in my life was my grandmother, okay? And she read a lot of books. She was always a lifetime learner. She watched TV shows, documentaries, and I credit her with the fact that I actually went on to, not just to college, but went on and got a PhD in rhetoric and literature because of her influence. It's not that she persuaded me one day over a cup of coffee and a piece of cake, which she made really good cake, by the way, but it's not that she just persuaded me one day to do that. It was her influence in my life. Okay, so some of the other areas that we go over in this video series, we talk about some different psychological ways, again, ethical. We're not teaching manipulation tactics or anything like that, but psychological ways that people that make people feel like they want to do something. Okay, so I'll just give you one of them as an example. People like to feel part of a group, right? People like to feel like they're right. People feel like they're doing the right thing, that other people are doing it, that other smart people are doing that thing. So if you can convince them through what we call testimonials, that's why you always see these on infomercials, you'll see them on websites, you'll see them on TV commercials, where they'll have some person saying, oh, I used this product and it was the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? Or I've used this insurance agent services for several years, he's always treated me well. When we had the hurricane, he was right there the next day figuring out what the damage was, and we had a check within 3 days. And so those are the kind of things that you want to focus on. So again, we have it's 10 hours of videos. I believe it's 6 different modules with all these different things, and really excellent tools that you can use. You can go back to them again and again and again. You get lifetime access to the videos that are on a special membership site. And you also get, one of the cool things is you get a special bonus of a phone conversation with me where I will actually look at something that you have. let's say it's a direct mail piece that you're mailing for your business, or it's an online website where you're trying to sell a product, or it's a letter that you're trying to send out getting people to donate to your charity. You can send that to me by email, and you actually get to talk to me on the phone, and I will help you to make that more persuasive. So that bonus alone is something that a lot of people have taken advantage of so far, and have told me that has really helped them quite a bit.
That's amazing, and what an amazing bonus too to have the opportunity to work with you, because you're so you have so much experience in putting these things together. It's amazing to me. Again, guys, it's right here. It's at terrybork.com/power. And you know, one of the things that I love is how you explain differences in body language, and I really found that to be really helpful in dealing day to day with different types of people. You know, I'm a learned extrovert because I have to be in business, and I'm really introverted and really like being quiet and by myself, but it doesn't work in the business world. And it doesn't work being a mom when I want to usurp my power. So,
that's right. And you've learned really well.
Right,
yes,
we
have talked. Yes, we have talked in person, and you are just like you are on the camera right now. You're bubbly, you laugh a lot, you're very friendly, and I just love talking to you. I always feel better after I talk with you. And so that's what you want people to think about you, right? Do you want people to think, oh, that person's a downer, I want to be around that person, and they walk the other room and they see you at a barbecue or a cocktail party. So people just look at Terry, be like her, okay? And in Real Fast Influence and Persuasion, we will teach you more strategies that will help you to be liked, to get people to know you, like you, and trust you, and then hopefully buy from you as well.
It's so awesome. So yeah, guys, so you know, if you're introverted and you play extrovert when you are forced to be that person, you know, you're really going to find so much benefit in how to handle your conversations with a different personality type. It's so important to be successful in life, not business life, but in all around life. You'll find it right here, terrybork.com/power. Get it. It's amazing. I love this course. I've had so much fun going through this and learning, and it's just so great. So many modules, 10 modules. There's so much to absorb. I've listened to them countless times. You guys are really gonna love this a lot. I know you want to jump in there and add something, Lawrence. Go ahead.
Yes, you just reminded me, you know, we put so much information in there, sometimes I forget all the stuff that's actually in there. And one of them is, I do a, as you mentioned, I think earlier, I am a certified personality trainer. Well, what the heck is that, right? Basically, what that means is, I read a whole bunch of books and took a bunch of tests, and I have a system where I teach about 4 basic personality types. Now, everybody has a little bit of each one in them, but there are 4 basic personality types, and I won't go into all of them right now. But if you understand that people either are one of the types or they're a combination, then you can understand what their basic needs are. Because each type needs something. Each type wants something specific. Each type has certain ways of dealing with people, etc., like you just mentioned. And if you can understand that, you can then help them to get what they need. And then hopefully they'll get what they need from you, right? So that's just another one of the many modules that's in there. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, that's part of the fun that I've had in going through the whole program. I've loved it. And in addition to getting Lawrence, you're getting Daniel Hall, who, you know, as a lawyer, how great is that to learn from a lawyer, you know, so you can take stands. and use that for your health. You know, it's such a wonderful thing. And Daniel's a wonderful person. You know, had the opportunity to meet him in person as well in Atlanta back in February, and such a great person. So many wonderful shares he has inside the program as well.
Yes, and besides being an attorney, he is also, I won't tell you how much money he makes, but trust me, he makes a lot of money. And he does that by persuading and influencing others to buy his products and services. So even though he was trained as a lawyer, he was a lawyer for several years. I believe he still has his what do you call that, law license, but he does so well in his business that he doesn't really practice much law anymore. He does his business. And so you're learning from two people. One is an attorney, one is a college professor. However, we both have been in the business world and have been in sales, have done all of that for years and years and years. So we take the best of all of that academic training that we've learned, mix that with all the practical experience that we've had, and then we share that with you in the program.
Yeah, and I know you guys are really going to love it. So you can find it right here at terrybork.com/power. So perfect. So I want to thank you for sharing your knowledge with us today on our program, Lawrence. And, you know, final words from you. Any final words?
Well, I just, you know, I'm going to borrow. Yes, I'm going to borrow a term from my friend Jeff Herring, who is a wonderful guy and also a business partner. And what he says is, "Hey, folks, go use this stuff." Okay, so and he has a master's degree in psychology and counseling, and probably could find a better, you know, higher vocabulary way of saying that. Yeah, but basically, go use this stuff. This is really important, and if you don't learn it from us, learn it from somewhere. Okay, because learning how to influence and persuade others is going to get you that lifestyle that you want. It's going to get you that promotion. It's going to get you the more sales. It's going to help you with your relationships with your spouse and your children and your friends and your coworkers. It's just going to change your life, and it has for me, and it can for you too.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing that. Last time, guys, it's right here. I can't figure out my left and my right.
It's right there in the middle, close enough.
It is, right? terrybork.com/power. Again, Lawrence, thank you so much for being on our program today. I really enjoyed speaking with you. You're fantastic.
Well, thanks for having me, Terry, and I'm glad we got a chance to do this.
Yeah, oh, so great, so great. And guys, thank you for spending time with us today on Go Mind Your Business. My name is Terry Bork, and until next time, go mind your business and have a wonderful day. Take care.
Thank you for
Bye-bye, everybody.
Go Mind Your Business with Terry Bork, presented by Extreme Marketing Concepts. If you want to drive more traffic, dominate the market, and crush your competition, find out how by visiting our website, www.extrememarketingconcepts.com. And join Terry next time for another episode of Go Mind Your Business.